friends, it's Emma here, the Bookish Princess. It is an absolutely gorgeous Friday afternoon, almost too gorgeous because it took me forever to find a spot to film this, because if I'm back here, I'm squinting, if I'm here, I'm in shadow, but really, it doesn't matter where I film it because the green of the hills is so gorgeous. This is just such a magical time of year, watching all the buds come out. One of my favorite Elizabeth Goudge books, which is called The City of Bells, and it starts in the springtime, and it's just such a beautiful description of the season. I think there's a line about how it was the time of year when the world was like, wow, what was it? Pink and green up close and white and blue in the distance. I might have gotten the colors mixed up, but it was something like that. And it's so true because you drive along and just like every tree seems like this glorious bouquet of flowers, and even the tiny, tiny buds look like little bouquets of flowers themselves. It's been so exciting to get back into my garden. I feel like there was a room in my house that was shut up over winter. I couldn't use it when it was too cold out, but now that it's warm again, I can move all the furniture back out, the chairs and table and the hammock, of course. So I thought I would do a little weekend vlog. Definitely gonna fill you in on my gardening plans and my seedling progress. I also am planning to do some stationery organization, which is a project that has been on my list for a while, and so it'll be fun to tackle it and share with you guys a little glimpse at my stationery collection. But since we're outside now, let's start with the garden. This is about my third year in this garden. Every year you notice something new. The first year I was delighted by this bank of lilies of the valley, so many of them. So actually just the other day I kind of tried to rake away the leaves and give them some room to breathe and get some more sunshine and water, so hopefully they will be blooming soon, and that'll be so beautiful. And then last year I noticed these gorgeous wisteria. They just festoon these tall trees right up above me. It's a little too early for them. Middle of May is when I'm expecting the wisteria to arrive. It's so funny though how some years some things are really beautiful and the next year they're just a little bit quieter. Like the first summer, the lilacs were absolutely gorgeous. And then last year when I noticed the wisteria, which were absolutely glorious, and I hadn't even noticed them the first year, which makes me wonder, were they not as prominent? But the second year, the lilacs were not very prominent. So I'm hoping the lilacs will be out and a little bit happier this year. I can see one little bud, but don't see any others. It's just so interesting that the way plants kind of, ebb and flow. Like my hyacinth last year was their first year, and I thought they were a little bit half-hearted in their performance, but this year I thought they were much better. However, the tulips, which last year were spectacular, this year I don't know what went wrong with them, but they just have not been quite as happy. I don't have quite as many blooms. It's been fun to see my garden evolve as I put more time and thought into it. The first year it was kind of just like, oh, I'll plant this there, I'll plant that there. Like I didn't really have much of a plan. The second year I had more of a plan. I did the raised bed, I bought a table and chairs, I did one little metal arch for some morning glories, and I did a beautiful sort of crescent of sunflowers. I realized the crescent was not a very good idea because it was really difficult to mow around. So my plan is to expand that crescent into a diamond, because that is on the west side of the house and that gets a lot of good sun. Unfortunately, a lot of my gardening area is on the north side, but we just make the best of it. It's not too bad. This year I thought it'd be fun to add some more structure to it. So I've added some paving stones down the center, which will lead us to the hammock, and I decided to do a second metal arch, in spite of these arches being in the shadow of the house. Like last year I thought the morning glories did pretty darn well, so I'm hoping to have two arches. I'm doing morning glories and moonflowers. I'm trying to decide, should I mix them so I have them both on both arches, or should I do one morning glory arch and one moonflower arch? We'll have to decide. The soil is quite rocky, so whenever I'm digging anything, it's always a challenge. In fact, that's part of the reason I like the raised bed, not so much to improve the soil, but just because then it's not back-breaking to get the bulbs in. All those rocks that I have dug up, however, came in very handy because I used them to create these two kind of little wedge-shaped beds, one around the hyacinths and one around the hydrangea, which I don't know if that's actually a good spot for the hydrangea. I wonder if it's too shady. They really did not seem happy there last summer. I got some leaves, but barely any blooms at all, so I have to decide if I'm gonna try to move the hydrangea, which probably I should have already done. It's so hard to tell where things are though before they come up. Like I know there's a hosta over there somewhere, but he hasn't come up yet, so I've been hesitating to weed. It will be very exciting to see how this season shapes up in the garden. Many of its inhabitants are not yet here because they are inside. Let's go ahead and look at my seedlings. I planted a whole bunch of morning glories and moonflowers in the middle of March, and they're all coming along beautifully. I also planted 2 dahlia bulbs, which are looking wonderful. This season, I'm also experimenting with dahlia seeds. They're, of course, a lot cheaper than bulbs. And I was looking up germination tricks, and you're supposed to kind of sandwich the seeds between wet paper towels in a plastic bag, and that did work quite well. Unfortunately, the germination tricks that I found online for larkspur have not worked as well. That you were supposed to put them in the fridge. I've taken them out of the fridge and I'm gonna get them planted, so hopefully they're still on their way. I can't wait until the frost date is passed and I can get these guys planted outside. All right, my friends, I have attempted to gather together the majority of my stationery collection. I absolutely love stationery. I love to buy it so that I have a nice stash to send to pen pals, but of course, whenever I receive a beautiful card or a beautiful letter, it then enters my permanent collection so that I can use it as wall art. I've always loved to do postcard walls. I have a couple little postcard sort of clouds up in my bedroom at the moment. So yeah, this is not actually my full collection. Some are on display. Some people only do that with Christmas cards, but I do it with basically every kind of card. So I have sort of 2 rough boxes, but they're very full and they're not very organized. So I've got some new boxes and I'm hoping to come up with a better system. But my system at the moment, so these are mostly cards that I have received and that I use as wall art. It's not only cards, actually. It's also like old calendars. For example, those literary ladies up on the wall are from an old calendar, and there are many, many calendar cutouts, postcards that I've purchased. I think I got this at a museum. Yeah, the Barnes Foundation. Isn't this such a cool oversized postcard? I have a menu from the Kona Cafe, but look, isn't that gorgeous? It's like a poster. This is, I think our friends from England sent us this when William and Kate got married. So this is from quite a while ago. But I enjoyed putting it up on my wall, and I feel like I might want to put it up on my wall again. There we go. And look, it's got a gorgeous picture in the back too. Yes, see, I feel like if I keep this organized, then, you know, it's not a problem, because when I want to get something out for a new wall display, I'll be able to find it. Or when I want to get a card out to send to a friend, I'll be able to find it. See, this box is the unwritten stationery for friends. And they're both pretty full, and it's difficult to find stuff. So we're going to get things rearranged. I have a couple boxes that I purchased from the Container Store. I thought these looked really neat. They're made in America. It's the Iris Portable Slim Project case. And you can get a whole bunch of them, stack them up, they're clear. This other box, I have to admit, I partially just bought because it's so beautiful. Doesn't it look like it should be delivered to you by a footman in London, and it'll have some beautiful dress for a ball that you're going to, or something like that. Especially for those like extra large postcards or things that, you know, maybe are too wide to fit in these smaller ones, I thought this might be fun. I guess on the website, I have to admit, there was like a stack of them, and it was this sage green color, and then a kind of peachy coral, and then a creamy white. And so I kind of want to get 2 more because I feel like they would be really beautiful just as display items. But I don't know where I'd display them, and I have to make sure that I have things to put in them first. I was restrained. That was kind of the reason I only bought 2 of these as well. I figured if they work out, I can buy more of them. So as you can see, this is already basically sorted. So I wanna definitely keep the sorting. Oh look, here's some more of the literary ladies. I didn't have room for all of them, but see, do I put these in with Jane Austen? Do we expand the Jane Austen section to be just a sort of general literary section? But yeah, here's some of this stuff. This is a map of Bath, which I purchased in Bath. And it has all the different Jane Austen sites marked, but I always feel like I could put it up like just this section. These are some cute postcards. This I printed out a long time ago because I thought it was cute. And it was cute, but I guess I should really think about, you know, am I gonna put that up again? This is not actually my favorite adaptation of Pride and Prejudice. This is my favorite adaptation of Pride and Prejudice, but this is a little pixelated. Like, should I just let this go? It's so difficult to decide. What else do we have in here? Just some more assorted Austen things. Isn't this one so funny? I love that, the exclamation mark when she sees Pemberley. Okay, I guess we could combine Austen with the England section, because the England is also a pretty hefty. Oh dear. See, I want to stack these strategically too though, so we can fit the maximum amount in these. But there's Bath, York. Yes, so hard to go through these because so many of them, you know, I bought when I was on a trip, and so it feels like it's definitely sentimental. This I think came from the Topping & Co. book company in Ely. There's a view of Windsor Castle. Oh, here is a picture of the globe. See, this would be cute in like a postcard wall. It has been cute in a postcard wall. I think that's Brighton. So thinking this through, I'm realizing that my postcard collection is actually not as poorly sorted as I thought. And if I like stack things more strategically, then I can still close it. It'll use the space better. So I think I'm gonna leave the postcards in that. This is really more of an inconvenient storage solution than the file folder, because it's just not convenient for accessing the stationery I want to use. Also, I often end up like putting stationery in here that I want to use, then I never know where things are. One thing though that I really wanted to do was find some thank you notes or some cute stationery to pick out to send to my Substack subscribers. So I started a Substack, gosh, was it 2 years ago now? I think I've had it for a full year at least. And I liked Substack because I wanted to do a blog again and have a space to write. And I like that they're committed to free speech. They're not gonna just deplatform and cancel people because they don't happen to have a mainstream opinion. And I did also like that it was an option to turn on paid subscriptions. This has always been my hobby. You know, everything I've made from like YouTube AdSense and all that has gone back into my camera equipment. I work a full-time job that's totally separate, which, you know, a lot of creators out there do, which is why things like Patreon or the Substack paid subscriptions, or like there's that like give a creator a coffee, like those are kind of nice because I do that myself for some of the creators who I really love. Anyway, a couple of you guys were kind enough to pledge a monthly subscription on Substack, so I decided I'd go ahead and turn it on. I don't have plans at the moment to do like paid subscriber only posts. All the posts on my Substack right now are, you know, public. Anyone can read them. And you can also subscribe for free. You can put your email in and then you'll get the blog post sent to your email. But now if you'd like to show your support of my online work, think of it as like that, you know, buy a creator a coffee kind of thing. You can sign up to become a paid subscriber to my Substack. And I thought a fun thing to do would be to send some mail, a handwritten note, to my paid Substack subscribers. So thank you so much to those of you who have signed up there. That was really kind. I'm going to pick you out some adorable stationery to get in the mail. I just thought I would mention that in case you noticed on Substack that there's now a paid option and we're wondering what that was. One thing I noticed on Substack is that they now have an option to upload a video to Substack itself. So usually I just embed the YouTube link in like a Substack blog post, but I could upload it separately to Substack, and then like it wouldn't have any YouTube ads or anything like that. You're all watching this on YouTube, so obviously you enjoy YouTube. I enjoy YouTube too. But during Lent, I was trying to use social media less, and just realizing, you know, how depressing it is that the algorithms of YouTube and like Instagram, they don't really care if it's good content. They don't really care if you enjoy it or like if it brightens your day or makes your life better. They just want you to keep scrolling. And so sometimes it's nice to stay off the platform, and yet like there are obviously creators whose work I still want to see. So yeah, if it seems like you might be interested in that, let me know, because I could then re-upload a video that I put on YouTube and upload it to Substack and send it out to like the Substack paid subscribers, and then you wouldn't have to go to YouTube at all. The video would come right to your email inbox and you would just watch it on Substack without any ads. I don't know if that makes sense or not. Anyway, just some thoughts. Look, you can see back here, I did put up my daffodil wreath. I've got it up here, which I kind of would like to, I think it'd be pretty if I put the 3 wreaths here. But I also like having the authoresses, because I have that wreath, and then there's one missing, but I have the blue one. I was gonna put the pink one there. It's been a rather rainy weekend, but April showers bring May flowers, and I put in my time indoors to good use because I have finished reorganizing my stationery. This was not as bad as I thought it was. I did just kind of stack things better and put in some of the things that had wandered out back in here. And then these 2 clear cases, I used this one for stickers. And I've mentioned this Neko Post subscription before. A YouTuber I enjoy, Charmeleon, runs it, and it is gorgeous stationery from Japan. It feels like you just get a little selection from Mitsukoshi, basically, like the stationery from Mitsukoshi. And there's so many cute stickers. They send you these little sort of envelopes, and they're actually really handy because I've used them for dividing up. Before, the stickers were just mixed in that other box, and now I cleared out that other box. All the stickers are in here. And then this one is notebooks and notepads, which should hopefully encourage me not to buy any more blank notebooks or notepads, because this is pretty much full. And then this is like the main bulk of the stationery. So I did keep a lot of these boxes. I just really like these boxes, and I think it helps to organize, you know, that way it's not just like a bunch of stuff kind of erupting into this box. If any of you guys have a fun stationery storage solution, I would be very interested to hear about it, because at first I was thinking of buying like a whole like dresser, but then I realized that was too much. I just wanted some boxes that, you know, I could store in a closet or store wherever I wanted. And I feel like this kind of thing is good for the postcards, but I don't know, I guess I could have done another folder, because it is so difficult to store cards. You don't want to just like splash them all into a box. That's why I thought these smaller boxes would be better, because then, you know, it's not like so many cards that everything is just lost in it. But I decided to kind of keep these as my sort of dividers, you know, as the way I would keep things manageable. So these are not all their original designs. This is so cute, isn't it? Which was this? This is papyrus. And then I think I do have some of the original bookish cards. That's very cute. This one I think was Barnes & Noble years ago, before I even got a cat, before I even got Cymbeline. And sadly, I think I've sent all of these cards. So this is just other stuff. These are my thank you notes, actually. I figured I would keep them in one space. These are white envelopes. This is colored envelopes. There's a stationery store called Paper Source, which is just extremely dangerous because they have cards and envelopes in every color of the rainbow all along the wall. And whenever I go in there, I'm like, oh, that'd be so fun to have a whole bunch of envelopes in that color. I do use my stationery. I send my brothers cards all the time. And actually recently I bought them some postcards, and they were in fact Japanese postcards. I found them on Etsy, and there was one box where they were all totally random pictures and slogans about bread, like from a bakery. It was so funny. And then another one were super cute little stores. And actually, I did keep some of those. And I have them up in a little display on the wall. But the other postcards, I like packaged them up, and I bought some postcard stamps, and I gave them to my brothers because I figure I am constantly sending my brothers mail, and they almost never send me anything back. And I thought, well, if they have the stamps and the postcards, they have no excuse. But unfortunately, they have not sent me any of those. That's okay, they're busy. They do send me mail sometimes, to be fair. And actually, my brother Porthos is an excellent correspondent. Porthos, I bet you're watching this. See, I am not throwing you under the bus. Let the record show that out of my 4 brothers, Porthos certainly takes home gold for pen pal. He has sent me many wonderful letters, which I've enjoyed so much. And actually, Aramis has sent me some awesome Lord of the Rings postcards. Athos has sent me some wonderful letters. D'Artagnan, you are in last place, and you should use those postcards I send you. And I'm sure they will get around to sending me those. Here's a pretty card from Ireland of a little Irish landscape. This is so cute. Shinzi Kato, I bet this was from Mitsukoshi. Just so darling. I love it. Yeah, see, most of the like original stationery sets, I only have like a couple of them left because I've used most of them up. So that's why these are all sort of combined. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a little Mickey on that one. Oh, this is so beautiful. These are of Salisbury. I bought this set when I was visiting Salisbury. There's a Jane Austen card. I won't go through all of these because it would just take way too long, but oh, these were so cute. I found these at Disney. I think they had a whole like kitchen line of kitchenware with these Mickey and Minnie's, and actually there's an almost identical Minnie on a Dooney and Burke. Some Louisa May Alcott cards. I bought these when we visited Orchard House. These Mademoiselle cards were some of my favorites. I have just a few left because I sent most of them, but they were based on the covers of this old magazine. I think I bought this in Dublin from Dubray Books, apparently. It was €13. All of my rifle paper cards are in here. Oh, and look, here are the Mademoiselles that I have left. I think there are just 3 of them. That's a fun set of Rani of Jhansi, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. This I bought on my last trip to Mitsukoshi. The cats, the ballerina cats. So cute. Yes, I do have some stationery from Disney. Here's a fun Yacht Club stationery. Some of these are from the Neko Neko Post subscription. There's some cat stationery. So cute. Yeah, so anyway, feeling good about this. Feeling like it's way more organized. It'll be way easier to find the stationery that I'm looking for, or the stickers that I'm looking for, etc. The oversized box, I thought I might put in my Book of Cymbeline illustrations because I don't really want to get rid of the originals quite yet. These aren't quite identical to the ones in the book because I did do a little bit of fixing up in Photoshop. This was one of my favorites. It was at the vet, and Cymbeline and her little plush friend, Puss in Boots, are like a little bit uncertain, just looking at everybody else. So yes, I think the green box will be a good place to store the originals of the Book of Cymbeline illustrations, and soon there will be more. I am working on the Book of Cymbeline the 3rd. I'm hoping to have that out by the end of June. But if you have not yet gone to check out the Book of Cymbeline 1 and 2, you should definitely do that. It's available on Amazon as a paperback or an ebook, and there are, how many? 36 illustrations total across the 2 books. Pretty good weekend's work. I'm pleased with that. I obviously did do some reading this weekend as well, but I think I'm gonna save that for a future reading vlog. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you had a great weekend, and I hope you're having a great start to your spring, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.